Let me ask you something, Stalker. Why are you here? Is it because of the stories told about the riches of the zone? Is it because you're trying to prove you're a man? Or did you just have nowhere else to go? Me? I came here for answers. I'd like to tell you I have them. That there's some profound magical words that'll shake the very foundation of your existence, but I don't have them. I've walked the zone's path so many times, you'd think I'd tire of it by now. But each foray into the zone feels no different than my first. That sense of serenity, solitude, dread as you step out of Sidorovich's bunker. The wonder as you walk through the zone, taking in the familiar yet alien environment. The crushing hopelessness as you creep through the derelict remains of yesterday's greatness. An intoxicating world that feels alive with every step you take, filled with imagery that is both wondrous and unsettling. And out of everything you can experience in the zone, this is the one I and every stalker will come back to.
Я тут вспомнил вот. Как-то поймали наемники сталкера. Подошли к колодцу, окунули его головой вниз по пояс. Через минуту достают и спрашивают. Артефакты, бабло есть?
The internet militia would have you believe Stalker is some sort of oversaturated, hyper-realistic survival game designed to turn any boy into a man. Stalker in reality is a fractured game, one whose goal was to create a living open world. Call of Pripyat is the best representation of the gameplay. Clear Sky has the best version of the factions. Shadow of Chernobyl has the best atmosphere and story. It's easy just to attribute it to the visuals, audio, and writing, but the gameplay is a significant portion of the atmosphere. Out of the three games, Shadow of Chernobyl functions differently to the other games. And as the games go on, some things get better, like detectors respawning artifacts. Others get worse, like common artifacts being valued and treated as if they were gems. Take the jellyfish, for example. An artifact so common that they're practically tripping over them. In Shadow of Chernobyl, they're worth 650 rubles. Enough to buy 2 med packs that'll go as quickly as you bought them. Call of Pripyat, they're worth 3,000. If you talk to the various NPCs in the zone, they'll all tell you the same thing. The zone isn't safe. Anomalies are everywhere and anywhere. Many people come to the zone. Fewer stay alive longer than a week. Even fewer master it. And still the zone will name her price. But in later games, anomalies go from being sprinkled about to being coalesced into super anomalies. And while I enjoy these super anomalies because they offer a more visually interesting anomaly that shows how the zone changes the landscape, the danger and incredibly alien nature of the anomalies is lost. My point with all of this is that everything in Shadow of Chernobyl may not be the best, but the way the game feels to play is as bleak as the game makes the world out to be, compared to the cartoonish nature of the later games. Said bleak environment is helped along by an oppressive, atmospheric soundtrack. Stalker uses a mostly static soundtrack, every track taking me to a specific place instead of just creating a generic image of the zone in my head. The eerie serenity of the Great Swamp. The rotting, creaking, radioactive waste of the garbage. The mystery of Lake Yantar. And the unspeakable horror that lies beneath. The echoes of the past train activity found in Yanov Station. The uncertainty as you fight your way to the power plant. The trance-inducing radio static as you approach the
А такое слышали? Идет молодой сталкер по зоне. Вдруг озеро, которого на карте нет.
People throw Stalker into the bin of visions of the post-apocalypse. Only it isn't a post-apocalypse. There's a world outside the zone, one that benefits from the zone's existence. Sidorovich wants you to hunt pseudo-dogs in order to acquire their tails for the fashion companies, likely marketing them as faux fur. Barkeep has you get meat chunks for priests who pray for miracles and receive only silence in return. Artifacts from the electro-anomalies are being used as limitless power sources. Sakharov wants snork legs for their muscle fibers, their research allowing them to graft said fibers onto an individual. All the problems of our modern world is solved by the zone. Under this lens, it's easy to view the zone as a gift, but it's much more complicated than that. You have to think of the zone not as a place, but an idea fed by humanity's collective desires, wishes, and fears, a dream of the future. One that is slowly getting bigger. And as humanity demands more and more from the zone, the more people will find themselves in the zone, for one reason or another. Stalkers are the people who forge a new path in this alien environment. Each death is a lesson learned for those who come after. Survive long enough, and you'll realize the zone is alive. Hear the breathing as you traverse the fleshy concrete walls and the liminal underground depths of the zone. Eventually, you'll come to realize that the zone should not be looked at as a gift for humanity or with fear, but should be seen with revelry, even worship. Make the pilgrimage. Go north, past the Scorcher. Find truth in the monolith. There's a lot of fears in this world. A lot of them are irrational. Some rational. A few are as both rational and irrational as the fear of the unknown. The bump in the night. Sometimes when you're out in the zone, a gust of wind will pass you by. You know it's a gust of wind, but there's the thought nagging you in the back of your head that it's a bloodsucker trying to distract you. Other times, a couple of shots will ring out, only to be cut short by a scream. You sit there wondering what the stalker's final moments were like. Was it in some quick shootout? If so, was it a betrayal over some artifact? Or was the stalker trying to defend themselves from one of the zone's many colorful fauna, only to walk into an anomaly? Describing the atmosphere is like trying to describe what a picture looks like to a blind man. No matter the words that come out of your mouth, it always falls short of what the reality is. So you just end up pointing at the thing in frustration. So here's the campfire scene. The thing that makes Stalker Stalker. Why are people so obsessed with this scene? It's because in an environment as hostile and deadly as the zone, this scene can happen anywhere, at any time, with any faction. Just as you came to the zone in order to escape the bleakness of reality, stalkers try to drown out the cacophony of the zone with conversation, laughter, or music, trying to escape the fact that they could be the one torn apart in the distance tomorrow. It's the cherry on top of an oppressive atmosphere, a light in the darkness of the zone.
И от чего я играть как следует не выучился? А от того, что облом.
It's realizing the last thing to come out of Pandora's box wasn't some ultimate evil like one would expect. It was a cruel joke. It was hope. And right now, hope is all I have. The hope that if I charge headlong into the unknown, that if I keep going despite how awful things are, maybe I'll find my answer. The zone for me was once a place of wonder, a place that showed me even the worst events can become something of unparalleled beauty. Now it's become a prison for me, a reoccurring nightmare that no matter how hard I try to leave it, It always pulls me back in. I'm sick of it! I know who I am! I know what I want!
Я хочу, чтобы зона исчезла.
Этот живой. Счастливчик. Пойдем посмотрим, что Сидорович за тебя отвалит.
Что притащил?
Тело. С грузовика смерти. У него метка.
Правила знаешь? Выбрось его.
Так ведь он живой.
Ты врешь. Не может быть.
Пусть меня зона сожрет, если вру.
Давай его сюда. Так, за эту фигню я дам тебе